join me here today on the bank of a new syndicate water that I've just joined. Unfortunately, I can't disclose any further information on the name of the lake and the location. One of the rules of the ticket here on the syndicate is that there is to be no publication of any catches whatsoever and any photographs of social media as to what fish have come out of the lake. Obviously I am going to be showing any fish that I do catch out of this lake, but I'm not going to be openly publicising where the lake is and the name of the lake. Today it's a very cold mid-January afternoon. I've come down to the lake just to plumb around, chuck a lead out, see what the bottom of the lake is like, get an understanding as to the makeup of the lake, the different depths, see if there's any spots that I can find that I would like to fish or that I feel that I could present a bait well on, and just to generally get a better understanding of how the lake is and what the bottom of the lake is like. In terms of what's in here, it's a little bit of an unknown answer really. The lake is situated very close to the River Nen in Northamptonshire. The river is literally about 500 to 600 yards in front of me, so in the colder months when the water levels rise, the River Nen is renowned for bursting its banks. So all of the land that I'm stood on here that's in front of me is floodplains. Now, the risk obviously associated with that is that fish can leave the lake in the flood waters and enter into the river, but in the same respect, the reverse can happen. So fish can enter in from the river into the lake. So in terms of what's actually in the lake is a little bit of a unanswered question. I do know that last year the lake was restocked with around £5,000 worth of bream, between sort of £8 to £10 bream. So that's quite a substantial size bream really to be put into a lake as new stock. In terms of the size of the carp that's in here, I bumped into another member down here this afternoon who's informed me that the general stamp of carp in here is around the £20 mark. Anything bigger than that and you're certainly doing very well. There are a couple of 30s in here, and there is a rumour that there is a 40 in here. Now, in terms of how true that rumour is, I don't know. It varies from person to person. Some people say that they've seen it, some people have even said that they've caught it, whereas there are other people that have turned around and sort of said it's all just a myth, there's no 40 in here. The biggest that it goes up to is the £30 mark. But in terms of what I catch, I'm not really too fussed around the size and the stamp of the fish that I catch. I'm just happy to be catching, to be honest with you. When I came down to the lake earlier on this week, I just had a walk round and I was looking in the margin swims, just having a look on the bottom of the lake, because the water at this time of year is actually it's almost crystal clear, and especially in the shallower water you can see the bottom of the lake really well. And I noticed that in the silt there are these tiny little water snails and shells to snails laying in the silt, which would suggest that there is probably quite a high level of water snails in the lake, which of course is obviously going to be one of the carp's natural food sources. That is going to be my first approach when I come down here. My first session down here, I'm going to be looking to come at the end of January. It's still going to be really cold. The fish are still going to be really lethargic. They're not going to be getting their heads down on the grub, simply because it's just so cold for them. I'm going to be presenting them with probably small PVA sticks or PVA bags, and I'm going to try and fish probably one rod over a natural food source with a natural hook bait, so prawns or some form of meat, accompanied with water snail mix. And the other rod will probably be over some form of particle or pellet, possibly crushed boilies, with a high attractive boilie hook bait. That's going to be my approach for the next 2 or 3 months until the warmer weather comes, where I'll gradually build up the feed that I'm putting in, and depending on how it goes, I'll probably have some form of baiting campaign where I'll come down, pick a swim or 2 or 3 swims that I really want to focus on, and just bait them up on a regular basis, so the fish come across my feed that I'm putting in. They'll associate that location with food, so hopefully that will zone the fish into those specific areas, so when I chuck a lead out and I chuck a rig out to them, there's a higher chance of the fish visiting that spot and feeding. Unfortunately, I am only going to be limited to fishing the days down here at the moment. You have to be a member of the syndicate for over 12 months in order to get onto the night syndicate here. So I am going to be limited to fishing from sunrise to sunset. That isn't going to deter me at all. I'll still come down here and we'll still see what I can pull out over the course of 2017. That will give me an advantage when it does come time for me to be able to join the night syndicate, because I'm going to have a better understanding as to how the lake fishes, understand what tactics work a little bit better, so that will leave me in better stead for when I do join the night syndicate and I have a better understanding as to how the lake fishes. So this series is going to be following me throughout the whole of 2017, and focusing on my fishing on this syndicate lake. Let's see what 2017 has in store for me.